Hello guys, welcome to Code with BK. So in this video, we solve the problem to reverse an integer, reverse a number in Java. So before we begin, it is a request that if you find this video helpful, if you like this video, please do subscribe to my channel because your subscription is very important for me on YouTube. And out of 100 viewers, only one is subscribed. So please do subscribe. Alright, let's begin. So we have to reverse a number and I'm going to use two methods to reverse a number. The first will be using a string and the second will be using a while loop. Okay. The first method is very simple. It is very straightforward and it is very easy to remember. Okay. So we'll start with this and then I'm going to show you the second method using a while loop to reverse a number. And again, telling you an alternate implementation to solve the same problem is always helpful because when you go for problem solving, when you go for competitive coding in the future, you should be able to look at a problem with different approaches. Okay. So we do the second method later. We'll start with this one. So reverse a number using a string is very simple. We are going to convert the given number into string. Okay. So we do blank plus n. Okay. So if n equal to 25, okay, n str will be 25. All right. Okay. And then we reverse this string. So let me write the method to reverse the string. I'll say public string reverse string takes a string s, okay, and returns the reverse of the string. So the return type of this method is string. And I've already posted a video that describes this problem in detail. I will post the link of this video in the description as well. So I start with a blank string. I'll say rs is blank. So rs is short for reverse string. I return rs finally. Okay. I iterate the string from the right end to the left end, and in each iteration I get the ith character, and then I append this ith character to rs. So this starts at the last index, goes till the first index, okay, right to left. Okay, so I say string reverse of nstr is reverse string nstr. Okay, and then finally you return this reverse string. All right, so in this case the reverse of this integer n is returned as a string. Okay, and in our case we are only printing the reverse. Okay, so the data type does not really matter. If you want to return it as an integer, okay, so what you can do is you can do int, okay, and then you can do integer dot parse int, okay, of this. All right, but there is a drawback of this which I will explain you in a moment. Right now I am going to return the string only. Okay, so the return type will be string. Okay, and this is it to find the reverse of the integer n as a string. All right, so in my main I start with a random object. I use it to generate random numbers. Okay, my maximum value is 10,000, so I get a random number less than 10,000 every time. Okay, 5 random numbers and I print the random number and its reverse, okay, in the same line. Okay, so let me run this. Java C reverse number dot java cannot use it from static context. Okay, so this has to be static. Okay, compile, run. Okay, reverse of this is this. Reverse of 1709 is 9071. 4507 is 7054, 3746 is this and this. All right, so you can also use this, okay, the integer method. Okay, so let me run this java c and java. Okay, all right, you get correct output again. Okay, the problem with this method is, for example, if I want to find the reverse of say 100 and I pass 100, okay, so I get reverse of 100 as 1. Okay, and this is because when n is 100, okay, nstr is 100, okay, reverse nstr is 001. Okay, and when you convert this 001, okay, to corresponding integer, okay, you get 1 only because you don't have leading zeros. Okay, you cannot print an integer with leading zeros in Java, so you get 1 only. Okay, that's why for n equal to 100 your reverse will be 1 if you return integer form of this reverse. Okay, if we return the string as it is, okay, all right, we will be able to keep these leading zeros. Okay, Because we are not converting the reverse string back to integer, we are returning the reverse string as it is. So compiling and running, so you see reverse of 100 is 001. Alright, so your decision here to choose the return type basically depends upon the problem that you are solving. So if they want you to have the reverse of 100 as 1, you should be converting this reverse string, okay, into integer and then returning it. Or if they want you to keep the leading zeros intact for the reverse of 100, you should return as string. Okay. Now let's move on to the second method where I find the reverse of the number using while loops. So we saw a simple method to reverse a number. We convert it to a string, reverse the string, and we get the reverse of the number. Okay. So here I'm going to show you an alternative way to reverse a number. And again, the reason behind telling you how to approach one single problem in different ways is so that when you go for coding, problem solving in the future, you should be able to approach a problem in different ways. Okay. So suppose we are given the number 4128 and we need to find the reverse of this number, and in this case we don't use strings. Okay, so the reverse of this number is going to be 8214. Okay, we need some way so that we can use this number to find this. Okay, so I am going to say, let's say we have a variable s equal to 0. Okay, and I have a formula s is equal to s into 10 plus d. Okay, all right, s starts with 0. Okay, and then we say s equal to s into 10 plus d. What is d here? D is a digit from this integer starting from right hand side. Okay, so when I say d is a digit from this starting from right hand side, so I say d is the first digit, which is 8 in this case. Okay, you put d in this formula, you get s equal to, s was 0, 0 into 10 plus d is 8 now, so you get s equal to 8. Okay, alright, we use this digit from the right hand side and then we remove it, so we get 412. Again, using the next digit, we use 2. Okay, we plug 2 in this formula as d, so we say s equal to s into 10, s is now 8, 8 into 10 plus d is now 2, so we get 80 plus 2 equal to 82. Okay, we use this digit 2, we remove this, we get 41. Okay, again using this digit 1, okay, d is 1 now, plugging 1 as d into this formula, we get s equal to s into 10, 82 into 10 plus 1, so 820 plus 1, we get 821. So we remove 1, we get 4. Okay, the last digit remaining is 4. Okay, d is 4 now, we say s equal to s into 10, s is 821 into 10 plus 4, so 8210 plus 4, so this is 8214, which is the reverse of 4128 we need. So we have 4128, and using this method we were able to get 8214. So what we did, in each step we took out the rightmost digit, okay, plugged into this formula s equal to s into 10 plus d, where s started from 0, and after we use this rightmost digit we remove it. Okay, so we get 412. We repeat the same process till we have used all the digits. Okay, and finally we get the value 8214. Okay, so this statement we can write in Java. This is pretty straightforward, right? This is an arithmetic expression, right? You can do this. Okay, the question here is, how do we get the digit in each step? Okay, so to get the rightmost digit, okay, so from 4128, if I want to get 8, I do %10. Now percent is called the modulus operator. Okay, so where a percent b returns the remainder when a is divided by b. So when this value is divided by 10, the remainder is going to be this last units digit, which is going to be 8. When you do similarly 412% 10, you get 2. You do 41% 10, you get 1. Get 4% 10, you get 4. Okay, dividing 41 by 2 by 10 leaves remainder 2. Dividing 41 by 10 leaves remainder 1, and so on. So modulus operator basically finds the remainder when a is divided by b. Okay, so we use this modulus operator to get the rightmost digit d. Okay, how do we remove the digit? How do we get 412 from 4128? Okay, we do 4128 integer division by 10, which gives us 412. That is, when you divide an integer by 10, you lose the last units digit. Okay, because this is integer division. Okay, this just gives the quotient, it leaves out the remainder. So 4128 integer division by 10 will give you 412. Similarly, 412 by integer division 10 is going to give you 41. You miss out on the remainder. This 2 is removed. 41 by 10 will give you 4 and 4 by 10 will give you 0. Alright. So we were able to get this digit, okay, using this. We were able to remove the last digit using this. What's our stopping condition now? How do we know we are at the last digit? Okay, this is how we know we are at the last digit. When division gives you 0, okay, it means we have used the last digit. Okay, and this is what we code in our alternative method. So I say int reverse number 2 takes an int n. Okay, alright. So I start with s equal to 0 because this s is finally going to store the reverse value. Okay, I start with s equal to 0 and I finally return s. Okay, because this is the reverse. Okay, so our steps are basically get the digit, okay, using percent from this value n. So in this case n is 4128. Okay, and then remove the last units digit in n by dividing it by 10. Okay, but what is the stopping condition when this number n becomes 0? So we say while n is not equal to 0. Okay, so as long as n is not 0, what we do? We get this digit. So I say int d is using percent symbol n percent 10. Okay, I get d, but I have not removed this last unit digit right now. So in order to remove this last unit digit, I have to do n by 10 and I store it back into n. Okay, so this gets me the digit d, which is the unit digit. This removes the last unit digit. Okay, now I need to plug d into this formula. So I say s is equal to s into 10 plus d. Alright, and that's it. That's my while loop, and finally I return the value of s. Okay, so this code is going to reverse this number into this and any number n, any integer n to its reverse number. So can you think of the cases where it might fail? Will 0 fail? I guess 0 won't fail because the reverse of 0 is going to be 0. So when n is 0, okay, this is going to be false because 0 not equal to 0 is going to be false. So for n0, this loop will never run. Okay, for n0, this loop never runs, s stays as 0 and you return s. So for n equal to 0, return value is 0, which is the reverse of 0. Okay, so the case might fail and it depends upon the problem definition for which you are solving, say 100. So when you get n as 100, okay, you have s as 0. Okay, n is not equal to 0 is true. You come here, you say d is n percent 10. 100% 10 is going to give you 0 because remainder when 100 is divided by 10 is 0. Okay, so d is 0. You do n is n by 10. 100 by 10 is going to give you 10. So now n becomes 10. You do this, s is s into 10 plus d, s was 0, 0 into 10 plus d, 0 plus d, d is 0, so s remains 0. Okay, n is not equal to 0, n is 10 right now, this is true, d is n percent 10. You do 10% 10. 10% 10 again gives you 0 because when you divide 10 by 10 you get remainder 0. D is again 0. Okay, you do n is n by 10, you do 10 by 10, you get 1. Okay, n is 1 now. You do s equal to s into 10 plus d, s was 0, 0 into 10 plus 0, you still get 0. Okay, you go back to check for this, n is 1, 1 is not equal to 0 is true. You come here, d is n percent 10, you do 1% 10 which is 1. Okay, d is 1 now. N is n by 10, 1 by 10 is going to give you 0 because any single digit divided by 10, integer division by 10 will give you 0. Okay, n is 0 now. Okay, you do s equal s into 10 plus d, 0 into 0, 10 into 10 plus d, which gives you 1. So basically s is now 1. Okay, n is 0, 0 is not equal to 0 is false. So you return s, so return s, return 1. So for case of 100, you get 1 because we are not able to keep these trailing zeros. Okay, alright. So it again depends upon the question you are solving. if the reverse of 100 is defined as 1 in the question you're solving, you can use this method. Okay, if the reverse of 100 is supposed to be 001, then use the string method where you convert this to string and then you reverse the string. Okay, in that case you won't lose out these zeros. Okay, so this was the solution to this problem and I hope this was helpful. And before we move on to running this on a system now, it is a request that if you like this video, if you find this helpful, please do subscribe to my channel, and let's move on to running this on a system now. So this is the code for the second method that we discussed. All right, and I'm going to change reverse number 1 to 2 so that we use this second method. So compiling and running. All right, so you see we get the reverse. Okay, and reverse of 100 is 1 because in this method when reverse is calculated we miss out on the leading zeros because we cannot store leading zeros in an integer, as I explained. Okay, so you should be using this method only if the reverse of 100 is defined as 1. If the reverse of 100 is defined as 001, you should be using this method that returns the reverse as a string. Okay, so this was the solution to this problem and I hope this was helpful. So if you like this video, if you found this helpful, please do subscribe to my channel, and please let me know in the comments if there was anything not clear to you in this video, or if there's a concept you want me to discuss, or if there's a question you want me to solve. Thank you.